Hello, good afternoon. This is week 11 of the CSA season for 2017. It's also Eclipse Day. I hope you all had a chance to get out with your lovely glasses and view the eclipse. I was a little worried at first because it was really cloudy and I didn't think we were going to see much, but as time wore on, the clouds thinned a little bit and we were able to look up and see the moon blocking the sun. It was amazing how still the air became and the sounds just kind of ceased. Like it didn't seem like the birds were doing anything. There was just this quiet that was amazing on one hand and a little eerie on the other. But I hope you all got to enjoy it. This week we have a few new things in your box. I'm very excited that we finally have some broccoli. We plant broccoli multiple times during the year, and our first planting did absolutely nothing. And this is all coming from our second planting. It looks really nice. I did notice as I was harvesting some today that there are some where there's a little bit of damage to the stems. I'm going to blame it on the Japanese beetles because, why not? I don't know who else is doing it. But the damage looks fairly superficial, and since most people peel their broccoli stems before they use it, you're going to peel away the damage. So I decided to just go ahead and let that go. This week, once again, we're doing mixed pints of cherry tomatoes so you can try some of the different colors and different flavors. We have onions again this week, but we're starting on some of our more pungent onions. This particular variety this week is called Dakota Tears, and I think the word tears in there means you're going to cry a lot when you cut them open. Also, in addition to, we've been doing hot peppers, we've been doing a mild, a medium, and a couple of hot jalapenos. This week I'm also adding a serrano. Now, these look fairly similar to a jalapeno until you see them side by side. The serrano is smaller. Generally, it's not always true because there's been some new breeding in peppers, but usually the smaller the pepper, the hotter it is. So the serrano's definitely got a little more kick to it than the jalapenos. We have tomatillos again. If you look on last week's email, you will see the salsa recipe for using those. Also this week, I'm so happy we finally have some really nice arugula. If you're not familiar with arugula, it's a green that I think is a peppery green. I've heard people say that they think it's got a little nutty flavor to it. I don't get the nutty flavor, but I get spicy. This is really good to mix with salad greens, which unfortunately we don't have salad greens this week. But this is also good to eat in sandwiches. If you put this in place of lettuce, you're going to have a really nice sandwich. I also put it in burritos and tacos. Adds an excellent flavor. You can cook this. You can eat it raw. Really, really yummy. It's a very difficult crop for us to grow in the spring because it doesn't like the days getting longer, and there's a little insect that loves it, which is more prevalent in the spring. So we usually do better with our fall plantings, and I'm really happy to have that finally showing up. This week, our heirloom tomatoes are taking a hiatus. They almost always this time of year slow down a little bit. Usually we can trace it to some really hot weather in July that just slowed down their setting fruit. Because tomatoes, they get a little fussy if the temperature gets over 90 degrees, which in the hoop houses where the heirlooms are grown, it can get over 90 quite frequently. So this week you're getting some of our field tomatoes. These are predominantly red. We're also starting with the Roma tomatoes. We don't have a lot of these, but we have some. Most people think that Romas are used exclusively for cooking, but you can also eat these just like a fresh tomato. And we also have these lovely yellow Roma tomatoes. I discovered these a few years ago, and I think they're an absolutely fabulous tomato. I like to eat them raw, cut them up and put them into salads. So they're really, really great. And then I also want to show you, we've got watermelons again. See if I can get the camera on it here. Some really nice big watermelons. Watermelons are doing pretty well for us. We're still waiting for the cantaloupes. We're starting to finally get some to ripen, but hopefully by next week we'll have cantaloupes. We also this week, we have lemon basil. I don't remember if we put lemon basil in your boxes before this year, but It is a little bit lighter than a sweet basil, makes fabulous pesto. Is also good to use in pasta dishes where you might include chicken or fish. Just absolutely stunning. And I'm just standing here. It smells absolutely phenomenal. So I think that's about it. I'm going to kind of pan on everything we got here on the box. And that's about it for this week. Hope you enjoyed the eclipse. Talk to you next week.